Tim Wolf live stream. Here we go. All right. Happy Friday afternoon. Happy to be here with you. And I just came back from Boston. I was in Boston to see the Celtics play the Oklahoma Thunder, and they got beat to my chagrin, but it was a good game. Oklahoma Thunder is an amazing team. I think they are, I would never say they're the favorites because I'm a Celtics fan, but other than the Celtics, they're probably favored to win. I believe they're favored to come out of the West. Absolutely incredible. 2 7-foot plus guys, Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, and they're the youngest team in the NBA. Absolutely amazing juggernaut being built there. So, the Celtics are still my team, though. And I visited my old stomping grounds when I lived there decades and decades ago, and that was quite moving for me to go, see your former where you used to live. I'm sure it's the same for anyone when you ever go to a nostalgic area where you lived. And I went and visited the building where my condo was, or my unit was, and it looks exactly the same. 1400 block of Commonwealth Ave. It looks exactly the same. It still has the beautiful green awning. I found the pizza place where I used to go and stuff myself with pizza half a block from there, and that's still in business. And the original family, the Greek family that owned it, and I actually became friends with them, I remember at least one Easter at their home, which was a big deal. They invited me to their home. And a Greek Orthodox Easter was a big deal. I remember how many courses, and of course, what's the Greek alcohol, shots of that, and grappa. That's Italian, right? Anyway, they apparently just sold it like 5 years ago to the current owner because the father died. It was what he told me, and so they sold the business, but they still own the building. And I went to the club where I met my friend Michael, squash club, and the building's still there. Just got bought out by a corporate ownership, and it used to be the Boston Athletic Club, I think it was called, and now it's owned by Crunch Fitness, I think it's called, and they're in the process of tearing out the squash courts. I mean, nobody plays squash anymore, right? Pickleball, maybe if they convert it to pickleball, but they're putting in water massage machines and some other machines. And it looked like even one of the squat, although they were in the middle of tearing them out, one of them looked like it had a mat on the bottom of it, and they had a bunch of stationary bikes for like stationary bike class. So they weren't even using all the courts; they were using for other purposes. Sports come in and out of fashion. I remember I used to play a lot of racquetball. I mean, does anybody play racquetball still? Probably not. But pickleball is just a rage. It's just similar, not the same, but similar. I've never played pickleball. Maybe one day I'll take it up. Another big news for me. I'm always looking to refine my my sound, and I recently got some advice from a consultant about how to fine tune your artist persona, and you have to have a look, you have to have a specific sound, and you have to have great songs. That goes without saying. Anyway, and so I'm looking for, I'm electric guitar. All my songs that I record have electric guitar on them. Although I haven't been playing electric guitar on my lives, although I would like to get to that point where I'm playing electric guitar on these live streams. I did one live stream a while back, and I want to do more of that. But the sound that I'm looking for, I want a very unique sound. The more unique, this coach advises that you have a very unique sound. And some of my favorite guitar players, you hear 3 notes and you know it's them. Eric Clapton, Santana, Stevie Ray Vaughan. 3 notes, intro to a song, and I know who that is. They have a very distinctive sound. And so I'm looking for that. And I also noticed that Marcus King, who's my modern version of the type of artist that I want to emulate. He's not pure blues. He's got a lot of R&B and soul and country soul in his music. Great songwriting. He's a kick butt guitar player, but recently in the recent albums, he's been throttling that back a little bit because, let's face it, Guitar Hero pyrotechnics is not really the big thing anymore. People don't want to listen to long guitar solos anymore. So Marcus King is, if you listen to his albums through the years, he's not that old, but his older albums, he's probably only got like 5 albums out. I mean, so, he hasn't had that long of a career, but the earlier albums were more a lot of shredding on guitar, and the later ones are a little bit less. So he's still, of course, a killer guitar player, but not putting as much focus. He's got an incredible voice, great songs. And I covered one of, no, I have not yet covered one of his songs. I covered a Chris Stapleton song, who he has been touring with. And in this last batch of recordings, when we did 14 songs, I covered another Chris Stapleton tune called South Dakota, because I'm from South Dakota. So any song that's about South Dakota, I'm tempted to cover, and it's a great song. And we recorded so that should be coming out later this year. I got to put my vocals on it and my guitar parts on it, but I have the bass, drums, other guitar player. So the four instruments: drums, bass, keys, and other guitar. Phenomenal musicians in Nashville. And then I'm going to put my parts over the top, my vocals, background vocals. And anyway, what I'm getting at is looking for a signature sound. And I have been recently obsessed with one of the most underrated guitar players from the 70s. He's still alive, still playing, still touring. Ernie Isley. And his tone, his sound on Who's That Lady? Or That Lady? I don't remember the exact title of the song. In the 3+3 album that they came out with, phenomenal tone. You hear that tone, and you're like, what is that? If you haven't heard that song before. And so I researched it, and for you guitar players, it told me Guitar World had an article on how to duplicate that sound. And they were talking about doing it on the cheap. So they were talking a solid state, I think, guitar amp, which I have, I don't need to go to the cheap. I have a 59 Bassman over there, which is probably the most expensive amp I own. And I have the 75 here. Anyway, so I've got the amps covered. I've got a early 70s Fender Twin. I'm blessed. And a Strat. He suggested a Squire Strat. But the one pedal that was a little boutiquey was a pedal that is made by a company in France that tries to duplicate the phase shifter that Ernie Isley used, and it's called the Heptode. And I was talking to my buddy Jimmy, who's a phenomenal guitar player, been playing for 30 years, and he said, "Why don't you just get, like a phase shifter, like Van Halen used? I forgot. There's a very common Phase 90, I think it's called. Why don't you just use that?" But I'm stubborn, and this article from Guitar World, they could have. Everything else was inexpensive. They wanted a cheap Fender amp. They said to get this Ernie Isley tone. A Squire guitar, which is the bargain basement. It's not even Fender, it's a Squire, made by Fender, but a Squire. But they insisted you needed to get this Heptode pedal. And mine came this afternoon. It came this afternoon. I ordered it. It came from France, from Reverb. And you always worry about when you get something, is it going to get caught in customs? Are they going to charge you import fees? And this is, the company is Virtuoso. I think they must hand make these. And it's supposed to be an exact duplicate of the original phase shifter that Ernie Isley used. And this is not cheap. This is like $225, and then you got to pay shipping, you got to pay tax. But it's supposed to be the best way to duplicate Ernie Isley's tone. And the thing I like about it is I'm not one to fudge with turning knobs, and I have a guitar that doesn't have a tone knob on it. He played for Bowie. He came out with his own line of guitars. I can't even think of his name. Starts with an S. Anyway, it doesn't have a tone knob, and it has one volume knob. It has two pickups and pickup selector, one volume knob, and no tone knob. I like that. Less for me to mess up. This pedal, this Heptode pedal, doesn't have any adjustments. It just has, you turn on the slow setting, you turn on the medium speed setting, or you turn on the fast setting. That's all you got. I like that. I can't mess it up. There's no knobs to turn, because one thing that I don't like about guitar pedals is my pedals always move, and I got to worry about setting them up. And that's one reason why I started using the Helix, which is the Line 6 Helix, which is you preset. But I still don't think that the digital quite gets there with the analog. But usually, even my tremolo, like my tremolo pedal, the speed, it's so sensitive. And if a micro, and I got to get adjust it precisely right. There's no adjustments. You want the slow? Okay, turn that on. You want the medium? Turn that on. And it turns off the slow, goes to the medium. And it actually ramps up when it goes from the slow. You can hear it change speed. It's not a radical shift. It's like a Leslie organ. When you go from slow to fast, it speeds up, which is one of the coolest sounds, when the sound makes a change between, and then you go to the fast. So that's all there is. Just one of three choices. Less to mess up. I love it. And the other, see, I haven't put this on my pedal board yet. I haven't played with it yet because I just got back from Boston early this morning, and this was here already. This is this isn't anything that unique. It's the Big Muff, but it's the Ram's Head version. A lot of guitar players are familiar with the Big Muff distortion or fuzz pedal. This is the specific Ram's Head version. And my buddy said he had one. He had one of the originals, and then he realized they were worth like $1,200. This was years ago when he was like starving 20s, and he sold it because it was worth so much. This is a reproduction by Electro Harmonix, which is my favorite guitar pedal manufacturer. I have a lot of Electro Harmonix pedals. I have a tremolo. I have a chorus. What else? I like Electro Harmonix. They're a good brand, I feel. So this is the Ram's Head Big Muff into the Heptode, and that is supposed to produce the tone that Ernie Isley, or the sound that Ernie Isley has on Who's That Lady? That song. Is it That Lady? Who's That Lady? I remember the title of the song. So that's what has got me excited. I can't wait to get that on my pedal board and get my guitar plugged into it and see what that does for giving me a signature sound. This is a song I wrote a long time ago. When did I write it? Probably maybe 2018, maybe 6 years ago. Real life story about my first real girlfriend. It was hot and dusty that year. All the crops dried up and blew away. I was working in the field all day. I'd rush over to her place, and it would be Beach Boys playing on the tape deck. Two of us laying on a blanket under the stars and next to my car. We were so young back then. She showed me things that I never knew. Falling in love was all brand new. Only lasted a little while, forever etched in my mind. Endless summer. Ooh. She lost her mama that fall, leaving her a teenage orphan. She went back to the old boyfriend, the one she'd left before him. A few months later she married him, leaving me with memories like this. Beach Boys playing on the tape deck, two of us laying on a blanket under the stars next to my car. She was so long back then. She showed me things that I never knew. Falling in love was all brand new. Only lasted a little while, forever etched in my mind. Endless summer. Ooh. Lifetime and laughs and tears ago, and we wouldn't even know each other if today we sat down and talked. Our lives are so far apart, but in my mind I can still recreate as clear as yesterday. Beach Boys playing on the tape deck, two of us laying on a blanket under the stars next to my car. We were so young back then. She showed me things that I never knew. Falling in love was all brand new. Only lasted a little while, forever etched in my mind. Endless summer. Ooh. It's my song, Endless Summer. This was called Everything I Never Had. Anyone with eyes could see she's pretty. She held the world like wildfire in her hand. Once upon a time, I wanted her for mine. The kid and me sure thought we had a chance. But when you're young, what looks like love ain't always built to last. When I let that rear view fade, I quit looking back. I learned that love ain't living in the eye of the hurricane. And when the real thing comes along, it falls more like a gentle rain. It ain't about the diamond, it's the girl wearing the ring. I never knew when I was happy till you gave me everything I never had. It's locking eyes across the room and knowing what you're thinking. Never going to sleep without good night. Having you by my side, making memories, making time. Never knew I had it right until we got it right. I learned that love ain't living in the eye of the hurricane. And when the real thing comes along, it falls more like a gentle rain. It ain't about the diamond, it's the girl wearing the ring. Never knew what I was missing till you gave me everything. I never had someone like you showing me the truth. Love ain't something that you feel, it's something that you do. I learned that love ain't living in the eye of the hurricane. And when the real thing comes along, falls more like a gentle rain. It ain't about the diamond, it's the girl wearing the ring. Never knew what I was missing till you gave me everything I never had. I never had. This one's called Red Dirt. I was raised a little south of Macon, right where the river turns. Shade don't grow over cotton rows, and the sun can scorch the earth. You make a Friday night paycheck from the sweat choking through your shirt. And I learned quick that you don't get more than what you earn. Looking back, my hometown made me the man that I am now. I left the part of a bumper of an F-150 on the side of an old pine tree. I left the name of a girl that I thought I loved on the water tower in John Deere Green. I walked the aisle of that church where I first heard about John 3:16. Yeah, the good, the bad, the hurt. My story, every word, it's written in red. Written in red. We'd roll down those gravel roads, get sideways, let the horses run. Night moves under that Georgia moon, thought we'd be forever young. Different trucks, same old town, I wonder where she's at now. I left the part of a bumper of an F-150 on the side of an old pine tree. I left the name of a girl that I thought I loved on the water tower in John Deere Green. I walked the aisle of that church where I first heard about John 3:16. Yeah, the good, the bad, the hurt. My story, every word, it's written in red. Written in red. It's the memories and the scars that make us who we are. I left the part of a bumper of an F-150 on the side of an old pine tree. I left the name of a girl that I thought I loved on the water tower in John Deere Green. I walked the aisle of that church where I first heard about John 3:16. Yeah, the good, the bad, the hurt. My story, every word, it's written in red. Written in red. Written in red dirt. Now, I wasn't raised a little south of Macon, right where the river turns. I was raised in South Dakota. I'm born in South Dakota, raised in South Dakota. But that's a song that I wrote with some other Nashville writers for someone who was looking for cuts for an album. And he's from Georgia, the particular artist. And I haven't forgotten which artist it was. And he didn't pick it up. I mean, it is, if you're a signed country artist, a major label artist, you have so many Nashville songwriters trying to get you to cut their song. Take mine, take mine, take mine. And the odds are against any songwriter if you don't have a relationship with the artist. The best way, now I'm not striving to be just a straight on songwriter. I write songs for me to perform. That's what I'm focused on. And so I'm not trying to get a pub deal. Although when I first moved to Nashville, that was my goal. I wanted to get a pub deal and write for other people. But it took me a couple of years and I realized, no, I want to sing my own songs, whatever that looks like. And I started working on my vocals and taking vocal lessons. And I've been told more times than I can count that I shouldn't sing. But I also have been told by a number of people they love my voice. So it's I guess it's an acquired taste maybe. And I'm not going to stop. Every day on my social media posts, I get people that just sometimes bring me to tears with how much they enjoy my music. And they're the trolls. There's no doubt about it. But one of the sayings is if you're not getting any haters, you're not doing it right. I mean, that was some seer or expert said. If you don't get any haters, you're not doing it right. Because you want to generate extreme emotion, whether it's extreme attraction to what you're doing, your music, and extreme dislike. But if it's right down the middle and it's like, take it or leave it, you're not being radical enough. You're not really pushing hard enough. You need to push. So you got people who that is the worst song I've ever heard to I love your songs. I mean, and that's the goal of any aspiring artist. You got, let's take Taylor Swift, probably the number one artist in the world, certainly by revenue stream. Recently, she's got a lot of people that don't like her, a lot. A lot. But she's got an awful lot of people that love her. Let's see, what can I do? It's called A Road to Nowhere. This roundabout goes around in a circle, Second Avenue turns to Third. This four-lane highway ain't going my way. There's a traffic round every turn. Back streets lead to alleys, lead to concrete jungles and more. That ain't the path I'm looking for. There's gotta be a road to nowhere, somewhere around this place. Yeah, something that leads to nothing but wide open space. Crickets sing and man and moon just swing. Not a single thing to do. Wanna take a road to nowhere, going nowhere with you. Let's haul ass down this asphalt, baby, till we kick a little gravel up. You can be my dashboard drummer, yeah, baby, we can ride and chase the setting sun. We got a blanket, got a chance, let's take it. Destination unknown. You're the kind of girl who was born ready to roll. There's gotta be a road to nowhere, somewhere around this place. Yeah, something that leads to nothing but wide open space. Crickets sing and man and the moon just swing. Not a single thing to do. Wanna take a road to nowhere, going nowhere with you. Wanna take a road to nowhere, going nowhere with you. Road to nowhere. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Whether you're seeing this on the replay or you are seeing this now live, thank you for being with me. She opens the window and watches the sky roll. Trouble's been coming for miles. She keeps on fighting through thunder and lightning. Somehow she still finds that smile. She says, for worse or for better, there's nothing that we can't weather. So let the storms come, hell or high water. My sun's still shining as long as I got her. She ain't the kind that goes running, clouds come my way. She likes the rain. She likes the rain. Stands in the drive with her hands to the sky and catches those drops on her skin. She says sometimes life hurts, but you just gotta learn to find beauty wherever you can. She says for worse or for better, there's nothing that we can't weather. So let the storms come, hell or high water. My sun's still shining as long as I got her. She ain't the kind that goes running, clouds come my way. She likes the rain. She likes the rain. She likes the rain. She likes the rain. Starts coming down and there's nowhere to hide. I thank God she's the one standing by my side. So let the storms come, hell or high water. My sun's still shining as long as I got her. She ain't the kind that goes running, clouds come my way. She likes the rain. 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 Oh, thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate you, Dave McCarthy. Appreciate your comment. I'm going to keep going. I can't stop. I have, although not so much recently, but every artist goes through discouragement, imposter syndrome, all of those kind of mental challenges. Because to have an artistic temperament, I think you have to be sensitive. And I've seen so many posts on Threads, which is the Twitter-like side of Instagram, where I spend more time on. I don't spend much time on X anymore, but on threads of artists struggling with mental health, and especially in this day and age, with where people can, post underneath your posts lots of negative things. I mean, you'd be amazed at some of the stuff that people post under some of my videos. Profane. Just like, how do you come up with this stuff? And if you let it get to you, you will question if you should keep going or not. And so I think every artist goes through that, even no matter what level. So keep going. And I have considered on occasion, I'm just going to quit this, sell all my gear, and start planning on how am I going to sell my gear. Am I going to do it on Reverb? Going to do it on eBay, Facebook Marketplace? And then a day or so, I'm like, what am I going to do? What will I do with my time? I can't imagine doing anything else. So that's where I'm at. I enjoy it. I love writing songs. I like producing my music. The next song I got coming out is a cover on the 21st. It's a week from today. On the 21st of this month, the St. Louis Blues Museum is celebrating what they call as the 100-year anniversary of the blues. Although there are other data points that shows that it could have been started. The blues could have been started as early as like 1912, W.C. Handy and that sort of things. But anyway, the St. Louis Blues Museum is celebrating 100 years of blues, and so to commemorate that 100-year mark, my song, "The Thrill Is Gone," which is a cover of B.B. King's most famous song, will be coming out the 21st. At least I uploaded it. Hopefully they'll get it on there soon enough. I didn't have much advance notice to get it there by the 21st, but I recorded this and recorded all the guitar parts. And of course, it's guitar-driven song. And so that's my next song coming out a week from today. And then I've got other songs in the works. I got those 14 songs I worked on with the great Nashville Studio Cats. And I finished the first one, which is coming out. Well, I sent it off to my engineer, and he's working on all the tracks. And that one is called Freight Train Blues. Hope you like that one. And then I also have another song that's been worked on called Is This Your Monkey? It's kind of a whimsical song. Is this your monkey? Your monkey's in the fields, your monkey's in the stalls. Now I think your monkey's drinking alcohol. That's one of the lines. Don't ask me where that came from. I just wrote it, and then I had these lines, and I brought it to my buddy Jimmy, and we put it to music, and it's got a really cool bluesy guitar riff going all the way through it. Can't wait for that to come out. So I got a lot of new music coming out this year. Always new music, which gives me great joy to release and produce. I mean, my happy place is in my studio. There's no doubt about that. Green means stop, and red means maybe. Ambiguous actions are driving you crazy. She's a stop-start gun, got your heart in a wound, got you thinking about her. Can't help but doubt her. What you saying true? Is she just playing you? She's a stop-start gun. She's a stop-start gun. She's beautiful. beautiful, mesmerizing and magic. Why do you keep going back to what you know could be tragic? She's a stop-start girl, got your heart in a wound, got you thinking about her, can't help but doubt her. What you saying true, or is she just playing you? She's a stop-start girl, she's a stop-start girl. Look into the mirror and I ask myself why can't I help myself when I look into her eyes? 'Cause she's a stop-start girl, got my heart in a wound, got me thinking about her, can't help but doubt her. Is what she's saying true, or am I just playing the fool? She's a stop-start girl, she's a stop-start girl, she's a stop-start girl. That's the first song that I put out on streaming, 2018. It's been redid a couple of times, and it's on the album Born in South Dakota album with the band, Tim Wolf band version. I put some slide guitar on it. It's got some sax on it, some baritone sax. I love that version. Stop Start Girl I wrote with my good friend Mike Markham. So I think I'm going to end with that today. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next time.